Alan, can I go back to what you said there when you mentioned Dibble, and it's only one game, but Birmingham fans raving about him. Matondo, debut, scores for Hanover. We've had umpteen players who we have thought weren't good enough for the club leave and go on to have pretty good careers and be very good players. Why is that? Is it simply a case of the shirt's too big for them? Or, Alan, is it us?
I think it might be a bit of both. You know, I think everybody wants to claim they're the best fans in the world, and people say that about us, and I don't think we are. You know, I think we're a very, very tough crowd to play in front of. I think we're extremely demanding, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. You know, I do believe in standards, and you know, we shouldn't be accepting competing to finish second in the league. You know, anytime we don't finish top of the league, it's a failure. You know, and I think players do struggle to adapt to coming to a game where a club where every game in the league is a cup final. You know, people will assume, oh, go away and play Dundee, or go away and play Ross County away. You know, we should just turn up and win. You know, games like these are cup finals for these teams playing Rangers. And Celtic will face the same. You know, and in Scotland, you know, it's a cup final and you play one in the Old Firm. You know, and if players come to play for Rangers and can't handle playing 38 cup finals a week, you know, and can't get up for that and can't show that intensity and can't win that battle, you know, it's a cliche. You know, if you get better players, you need to win the battle first to earn the right to play. You know, and it's absolutely true. You know, if we can't match that intensity, then we're going to struggle. And I think a lot of players do get sort of like become rabbits caught in the headlights like that, and they can go and play with a bit of freedom at other clubs that they don't get. But they need to put the work in to earn that freedom playing for Rangers. And some people just don't get it. And unfortunately, we've not done well enough on the scouting to actually pick up that sort of quality in players. And too many players have came in here and just struggled with awaiting expectancy.
So here's a quick question then for both of you. Leon King, 2 years' time, is he still at Rangers?
No.
Why?
Because the manager doesn't think he's good enough.
Do you think that it's maybe just been unfortunate with the chances that he did have, that he's maybe came off injured, etc.? Like, for example, you could see what it meant to him when he was coming off the other day. He looked heartbroken because he went up, won the header in what was like the 13th minute, almost knocked himself out, and then ended up putting a great tackle and sitting down with double vision. Like, I feel like he's not that he's not had a chance, because he has had chances to prove himself in the past, but we were at such a turmoil when he was forced to play that it's such a shame that he's never had an efficient run in the team. Do you think right now Leon King's best bet is to go on loan, or do you think it's to just hope that he gets those couple of minutes here and there?
I think it really depends what Leon King wants to do. You know, if Leon King's content to be a squad option, you know, he's more than fine to be a squad option for us and play some games here and there. You know, I don't see Leon King establishing himself as a first choice Rangers centre back. If he's happy to be that sort of fourth choice centre back and be part of the squad and be a good sort of squad player, you know, I've watched him play for a B team. I've watched him play for Scotland under 21s. You know, I think there's a player there. You know, I think there's a leader there. You know, and I think that we need that sort of type of character in the dressing room. But it's how much football Leon King wants to play. He's obviously well paid at Rangers, you know, and he's playing for a club that he loves, or working for a club that he loves. You know, he's not really playing, but I think Leon King owes it to himself to sit down with a manager and someone and say, right, where do you see me? Because you're playing everybody in front of me. You're playing James Tavernier, centre back, in front of me. Where do you stand?
I will say one thing, and I don't want to put the blame solely at Rangers, right? But this comment for channel member Jimbo, Rangers have destroyed his career as of now. He's still only 20. He sat in his butt for 2 years and done nothing for his development. Now, I don't know if Leon was offered out on loan and he knocked it back because he wanted to stay at Rangers. But there gets to a point, Kieran, in any young player's career, around about that 17, 18, for me anyway, just the way I look at it, that when you get to a certain age, B-team football's no good anymore. You're not learning anything. You're not progressing. You have to be playing first team men's football, whether that's League 2, League 1, Championship, Premier League, or playing for Rangers, right? You have to be playing that type of football. Leon King got thrown into a situation where we had no centre-backs and he was up against the likes of Mo Salah when he was just a young boy, right? And then we got absolutely hammered. His confidence took an absolute beating. And us as fans, and obviously people in at the club went, do you know what? See, after that Champions League game back in Scotland, he was crap. He was terrible. Only because his confidence had took a dent. Why not bring him out the team, bring him back in, give him some minutes? But we just didn't do that. It was just a case of you can train with the first team and you can play with the B team. That's just completely held that boy back. Totally held him back.
So do you think maybe the polar opposite with that is then maybe Mayo, who went to Kilmarnock, and he's been, I'm sure he's a mainstay in their team, isn't he?
Yep.
So that this is what I'm trying to say, like the way that we have treated our youth, and we could probably do a million pods on it and still not hit the nail on the head fully because there's so much ground to cover. They just don't seem to, not they don't care about their development, but again, a couple of friendlies and a couple of cup games isn't going to define a player. Giving them that chance to go out on loan, like I think Robbie Fraser going to Livingston is brilliant. Do I think it's maybe a bit late? Yeah, I think so. Depends again if he's had the chance to do it before and knocked it back. Because as we say, that's going to be the end of his Rangers career unless we decide to give him a contract extension for long term. Do I think he'll probably end up just at Livingston? Yeah. I think it'll be maybe another.
Yeah, but Livingston are probably going to get promoted this season.
Yes. Yeah.
So then, if Robbie Fraser signs for them after the end of the season on a free, then Livingston can give him a wage that he wants. There, he's playing in the top league.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it just goes to show that I know folk obviously say the grass isn't always greener. Sometimes it is. If you just want to be playing football, football's such a cruel career sometimes. Look at the players that get injury plagued. For example, look at Cortez, Danilo, who again were out for a small time scale. That's a couple of weeks they've been out still with no real update on them. So it's like, it's such a shame because you then see, if you're just sitting on the bench, look, some folk would be happy just to sit on the bench or not even be on the bench and they still earn a wage. They still earn a wage. They don't really care. I mean, you're telling me folk who go to Saudi for the love of the game that even didn't get a game there. They go there for the love of the game and not the money. It's crazy that nowadays money entices people so much to not even really want to, not even so much they don't want to play, right? Because no football player goes into the mindset of they don't want to play. But if they're getting paid to do absolutely nothing, some players will accept that. Then you've got players that really, they want to be playing and they'll do what they can to go on loan or get a couple of minutes here and there to impress, get himself in the shop window, even if it's another move elsewhere with a buyback or something. But right now, it just seems like we just don't care about the youth setup just now.
We stopped caring about the youth setup when they took them out of the Lowland League and then done nothing with them. Don't not just like as in now. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. In terms of development, the Lowland League only takes you so far, and then you need to. I've seen that myself. It's not the greatest in terms of quality. But when Rangers pulled the B team out of the Lowland League and then went, right, well, we've got nothing for these boys. You can play a game every few months. That's when they gave up on the youth.